So, well, maybe we should step back. So we started with you in May of 2019. You suggested with my hypothyroidism that it may be something more like Hashimoto's because of some of my symptoms. So I ended up having them test me in the end of May, and it was Hashimoto's. Then you said that maybe that with Hashimoto's, I should be very cognizant of gluten in my diet. And so I decided to bite the bullet, as impossible as that seemed. And being in a relationship with someone in an Italian family, that it just seemed impossible. How am I going to limit pasta and everything else that we're exposed to? But bit the bullet in the end of June. And in July, I went back to have more testing done and found that it was already so seriously affecting my thyroid levels, and it was getting so much under control that the doctor was just amazed. And she was like, "What have you done?" And I said, "My nutritionist told me to knock gluten out." And that was absolutely pivotal.
Plus your husband supported you.
Yes, and a supportive husband. And the family took to being cognizant of it, and we figured out ways to work around, and everybody gets their stuff. And he had his cheat days out with his friends, but it just made it much easier having somebody supportive, somebody to reflect with, as to how to get ideas and get past it. And it made it all doable.
And it helped me out because when we switched to the cooking, it allowed the portions to be a little bit bigger because we had more veggies and the leaner meats, and it made shopping a little simpler because we knew exactly what we were getting, and we would do less shopping trips because we get it, we cook it, we know how many we need for the week or snacks or whatnot. And that planning helped me a lot. And the first year I noticed I went from 0 check marks to 1 check mark, and all my numbers got better. So this year I'm really looking forward to more than 1 check mark.
I'm looking forward to that as well, because you've been putting a lot of effort and energy into making new habits that at the beginning, I guess I would want to touch base. What was your impression at the beginning when I suggested stool testing, when there were some symptoms, and how did you go about the recommendations and implementation of the meals based on your results?
So initially, I was not opposed to doing a stool test. What came down to how much it was going to cost. And it was like, so we dragged our feet for a little bit, and then we decided, all right, let's just do it. It's not covered by insurance. It is a little expensive, but what if it has answers in it that can help us? Maybe it's not as definitive as you expected expected my results to be based on characteristics and symptoms and stuff. And it came back that it was candida in my intestinal. And so you recommended an anti-candida diet. And I thought, I don't know if I can go any farther than I've already changed. I've changed a lot. I gave up every bit of gluten. I learned all the tricks and everything. And then I thought, all right, I can do this. I know I can do this. And the hardest part was figuring out not the attitude of, I can't do this. I can't have this thing anymore. I can't do this. And even with the premise of it's only 6 weeks, all right, 6 weeks in your whole life is not big. But when you're looking at 6 weeks from this moment forward, it seems huge. And when I changed the thought to what can I have, then I started focusing on all those things that I could have and all these things I had to choose from. It made it a breeze. And 6 weeks floated by, and I lost 24 pounds.
And what really helped was when we had those, you laid out a week's worth or 2 weeks worth of menus for us. I took all those, I PDF'd them in their group out of the single into the like meal prep style. We printed them all out. She went through them and she kind of picked, okay, this looks really good to me. And we actually picked 3 or 4 of each type of thing, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then we tried to
And
make them.
snacks.
I mean, that chia pudding, I won't touch it, but she loves it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really good fuel for the gut and to rebalance the gut.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that was the surprising thing. So here was a lot of things we didn't really have, like I had never considered, hey, have some seeds for breakfast. To me, I just laugh. Yeah, the birds eat that. But now I actually like my pumpkin seeds in the morning. I get my little quarter cup, I have them there, I eat and I read. So there's until you really try it. I mean, what is the solution really worth to you? That's what we had to tackle. After so many years, what is the solution worth? I mean, why make money if you can't trade it to feel better?
Right.
And that's eventually what we did.
That's so powerful what you just said. Yeah, how what is it worth for you to feel better in
And we
this
had
moment to
you
do
available as a resource. You know, our insurance provides that it allows for us to meet with you so many times a year. And it was like, if we're not, so if we're spending our time to meet with you and we're not going to listen to all this wealth of information you have acquired and strive to learn, and you're trying to share with us, why are we wasting our time even with the meetings?
It definitely was worth it. I've enjoyed the new life because for me, it's been about 27 pounds lighter, and my blood pressure, which was ranging about 132, 136, 130, now I don't get a number over about 115. I mean, that's 20 points, that's 15 points, and I did nothing but just change diet and do the things I pretty much was already doing.
that's pretty powerful right there, and I'm glad to hear that. It sounds like when you were doing the anti-candida diet, it sounds like, yeah, that was a couple months ago. Now you're past that. It sounds
Did
like
it?
it stayed a little bit.
We did. We
Yeah.
kept some of the things from the anti-candida diet that were good. Like we kept that one stir fry with the chicken, and we even modified some of those ones. You had a beef recipe, and we switched it out with boneless, skinless thighs, and it was excellent.
Yeah.
And we
It's one
make
of our
that one
go-tos now.
we make that one to this day. So a lot of the candida hung around, and now I'd say we're still probably on 30% of the candida diet as just a regular diet because it's tasty.